Journalism is about deadlines. It's about getting an assignment and executing it within the time frame that you're given. And I think that these type of assignments are the absolute best way that you can learn, which is why we do them. Even though they're really difficult and we gotta wake up really early and it's so stressful. And I didn't hear one complaint about having to take a 6 a.m. flight. I didn't hear one complaint about, oh, I'm tired, I don't have any energy. I mean, my students handle this in a very independent way. I mean, they organized how they were gonna get to the airport. They broke up in groups so that they could fit in the cabs. They had everything laid out and planned out as to how they were going to do it. By the time we get to El Paso, we have to know exactly what we're going to do, where we're going to go, what our stories are, have some of it already reported, because we just don't have a lot of time on the ground.
Being on the ground is sort of making it real, but hopefully we'll tell some important stories.
I'm excited and I'm ready to report.
We're very eager to work on the story.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Today we're going to check into the hotel, to the dorm. We're going to hope everything goes okay. I don't know. And then we're going to have dinner all together. Jen's coming to the dorm at 5. Julie, me and Adrian are going to take you to the fence, the wall, and see what we could find. I went the day before because I was so anxious and worried about things being set up correctly. I emailed you guys the address, I emailed you guys your roommates, I emailed you guys everything.
No, because three addresses come up. That's why I wasn't sure.
Okay, no, that was just the address in the beginning, was where you were staying, and then I sent you one that was phone numbers. I just thought just in case for some reason we got split up. I picked them up at the airport in El Paso. Drove them to the dorm rooms where they were staying, and we had a meeting that evening. Okay, thanks.
Put your hand on it and it's handed.
Where's your gear?
I didn't bring it. I'm going to go back and get it.
Oh, okay. I have connections to the University of Texas El Paso through NAHJ, the National Association of Hispanic Journalists. And I contacted a professor there, and Zita Arocha, and she was just great in terms of opening up the school and her resources to support my students.
So it's called ANAPRA.
Journalism is about people. It's about people and it's about their stories. And the only way that you're going to be a good journalist is to be fearless and to go out there and talk to people.
Today, for me, going out to interview 3 students, get some B-roll of El Paso downtown, get some B-roll of the campus here at UTEP, and possibly go to a press conference that we just found out is happening at noon. Right now I can tell that Sophie's in focus, but I just don't trust my eye as much as I should.
Reporting New York and Nation is extremely hands-on, not only for the students, but for me too. We're all in it together. I think there's a part of my program that's always a little bit out of control because we do so much reporting on the street, real world with people. Like, that's really important to me. So, but what's hard is, like, I've never been here, I don't know anything, I know what I've read, but there's a level of like craziness about it, but it's sort of the kind of thing that I really thrive on, I think. Well, if we could just figure out how to meet up with these people. We were going to go to this neighborhood that was a border neighborhood Mexico and the U.S. were separated only by a chain link fence. And then when we got there, it was just a construction site. So that entire story was blown up, and we had to think really fast on our feet to how we were going to salvage this.
Journalism is so dynamic, and you always you should always be flexible.
The flexibility and the belief in yourself to know that you can find something else. There's a lot of stories out there, and too many times when things don't work out, students sort of fall apart. But one of the cool things about this experience is you can't. I mean, we're here, you have to produce something.
We're in Chihuahita because this border fence leads right down to ANAPRA, where we were,
and it goes all the way up the mountains through here to this community center.
My student, my reporter, Cassidy, she just found a story and she did a great job.
I think I'm learning how to step out of my comfort zone, being able to comfortably walk up to people's houses and knock on their door and try and get the answers that I need.
In a city that is overwhelmingly Latino, Asians have set up shops just about a mile away from the U.S.-Mexico border.
What's really cool about this piece is Julie, who's from China, really struggled. But Julie is such a professional and such a hard worker that she pulled off a really interesting, well-shot, well-produced story, and I am so super proud of her. One of my favorite stories is Rebecca going on patrol with the Border Patrol. It was really complex, very humanizing of the Border Patrol, and she got a lot of insight in who they are. And it was really fascinating to me, and it was very well produced. Well, it was very emotional to see the fence, to see the way it divides us from Mexico. It's tough. I mean, you can read about these things in the New York Times or, watch it on CNN, but to actually physically see it, that in and of itself, that minute when we saw the fence, that was worth the trip.
I chose this location because you can see where the line is between El Paso and Juarez, where these students are commuting every single day, and their commute that's getting longer and longer as they're facing more and more questioning. So just right here is a perfect spot to visualize just how close these two cities are. Mexicans coming to El Paso for work and school are facing more and more questioning, and advocates are fighting for their right to be here. So right now we're looking at a deadline of a couple hours away, and we had to go out and get a new drive, plug it in, reformat it, transfer the files from my personal drive to the new drive, and now we're making sure that everything's up and running so I can get editing and hit that deadline.
We are at an impasse. We shot our clips in 4K, and while the resolution will be absolutely beautiful and incredibly professional, it hinders our ability to edit and put our video together, which is problematic because we have a deadline to meet tonight.
There's no option as to whether or not we're going to finish this, so yes, it will be finished on time and ready to go online.
We're going to work together, we're going to cry together.
It's a little nerve-wracking, I guess.
Many challenges, as always. We had tears. To me, this is journalism. This is how I make them reporters. This is what it is.
I think I'll have a first draft done soon.
I think it's going well.
Whatever happens, just don't panic.
You wouldn't say like this is poor writing. This is when I mean clunky writing. It's not like El Paso, Texas, living in El Paso. You just say El Paso here. Why would you? The biggest challenge was on our last night. Students got sick, and my big deadline-driven push had to be extended. But in the end, I'm the one that had to tell them to stop because they would have kept going. Even though they were vomiting and drinking Pepto-Bismol, they still wanted to meet deadline. And when you have students like that, I'm really super proud of them. In spite of all the obstacles, I've never had a moment where I felt like I'm done. There's no way I'm doing this again. In fact, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Living in Mexico crossed into the States for school. Living in Juarez.
Yes. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. This is so good. This is so professional. I am so super proud of Brandon. I really am. Yay! And it's shot in 4K too.